32 Battle Pass skins from Chapter 4, so today we're gonna rank all 32 skins from worst to best. But without further ado, let's hop into today's list. And someone has to be at last, so coming in at number 32, we have Nolan Chance. I've covered this skin in previous videos, and my stance is still the same, as I think that Nolan Chance is one of the weakest Battle Pass skins inside of the game. And moving on at 31, we have Messiah. Now this skin isn't terrible by any means, but I just think it's a little too bland and generic to have higher on the list. And rolling in at the number 30 spot, we have Cobby Lame. And I'll be honest, I really didn't even know who Cobby Lame was when this skin dropped. But even if it wasn't just a random TikToker added into the game, I'd still think that the skin was pretty mid. Now if you enjoy the skin, I'm happy you enjoy it, but he's one of my least favorite Battle Pass skins of all time. And before we go on to the next entry on today's list, YouTube is telling me that only 90% of you guys are subscribed. So make sure you elbow drop that subscribe button so you never miss out on another video from the channel. And while you're at it, go ahead and double down and give another elbow drop to that like button. Now breaking into the 20s at number 29, we have Ahsoka. I love a lot of the Star Wars skins inside of Fortnite, but this one just doesn't do it for me. And while she does have some pretty cool items in her set, I think the skin certainly could have benefited from some edit styles, such as a style from the Clone Wars or her Ahsoka White look from Star Wars Rebels. Next up, we have some skins that I'm gonna quickly run through, with 28 being Nezumi, Lorenzo at 27, Eren Yeager at 26, Amani at 25, and Ryan at 24. And coming in at number 23, we have the meme skin from Season 4 with Fish Stick. Now I'm normally a fan of meme skins inside of Battle Passes, but sadly I can't say the same for this pick, as I think it's a funny idea on paper, but I just think the skin looks a little too goofy. And now we're entering the territory of skins that I actually really like, and at number 22 we have Relic. I know a lot of people aren't fans of the skin, but in my opinion I think the skin looks sick. Not to mention he has some really great alternate styles, and the super styles for Season 3 look insane on the skin. Next up at 21, we have one of my hot takes with Optimus Prime. Now before you leave a hate comment or come to burn my house down, the skin just really isn't for me, as I'm not a huge fan of the Transformer franchise. And while the skin isn't as bulky as I figured he would be, I just really don't enjoy running the skin. And cracking our top 20, we have a skin that has actually recently grown on me with Renzo. Now this was our tier 1 skin for Season 2, and I will admit I wasn't all that crazy about the skin on launch day, but I've recently been using the skin a bit more. And while I still don't enjoy the skin as much as the majority of the player base seems to, the skin is pretty solid, and I feel like his placement at number 20 is appropriate with how I feel about the skin. And coming in at number 19, we have Geralt from The Witcher. Now I think this skin was a great choice for a secret skin of Season 1, as it fit the theme of medieval very well. Plus it's always nice to see a brand new gaming legend skin in the game, and Geralt was certainly a good choice. And rolling in at the 18th spot, we have Piper Pace from Season 4. Now this skin was honestly one of my favorites to use early on in Season 4, but since Chapter 4 Season 4, I haven't found myself using the skin very much. And sticking with Chapter 4 Season 4, at number 17, we have the big bad of the season with Cato Thorn. Now what really gets Cato a lower placement on the list isn't his base style, as I think the human form looks pretty sick, but it's his ultimate vampire look that I'm not a fan of. In all the years that Fortnite has existed, we haven't gotten a true vampire skin, so Epic Games really could have made this skin more in line with a traditional vampire, but instead they opted to make Cato Thorn look more like an actual bat, which I wasn't a huge fan of. And going back to our first battle pass of Chapter 4, at number 16 we have Celine. Now this skin was a solid choice for a tier 1 skin, as it wasn't anything too special per se, but it's still a pretty solid look. Now next up at 15 we have Trace from Season 3, and I honestly think he's pretty underrated. His alternate styles are pretty sick, and adding the hood to any style of the skin makes it even better. And moving on to the 14th spot, we have Antonia from Season 4. Now I'm not a huge fan of the pass overall from Season 4, but Antonia is one of the few exceptions from the pass. She's a clean skin, and she fit the theme of a heist-themed season perfectly, and she even gave me some strong Midas vibes. And coming in at number 13, we have Thunder, who is a great example of a strong meme skin inside of a battle pass. Moving on to the 12th spot, we have Dust, and I'm not sure what a zombie fighting baseball girl has to do with a medieval season, but with that aside, I'm a really big fan of the skin, and I think the base style is very solid. And at number 11, we go back to Season 2 for Highwire. Now Highwire is one of the highest rated skins skins from the player base from Mega's Battle Pass, and it's hard to argue against that. She has an awesome cyber look to fit the theme of the season, and the skin has a pretty good amount of customization with a bunch of different edit styles and the ability to take the hood down. And cracking our top 10, we have Mystica. Her base design was great with an awesome green and purple color scheme, and the alternate options are just as good, if not a little better. And moving on to number 9, we have Paradise Meowscles. This skin was introduced as the secret skin for Wilds, but he ended up being one of my most used skins during the season once I was able to unlock him. And coming in at number 8, we have May from Season 4. Now normally I'm not a fan of cel-shaded skins inside of Fortnite, but May is certainly an exception. I think her base look is fantastic, but my favorite style for her is easily the black hat style and the D-boot dust style. And moving on to number 7, we have an extremely underrated skin with Mariposa. And while the skin may just be a summer version of Dynamo, I think the overall design of the skin is pretty solid. And barely missing out on the top 5, in 6th place we have Stray. Now when I heard that Season 2 was getting a brand new version of Drift in some capacity, I was pretty excited, and Stray certainly lived up to my expectations. And even though it ended up to not be Drift himself, he still has a style that looks fairly similar, and the rest of his styles are just as solid. And cracking into our top 5, we have our tier 1 skin from Wilds with Era. This skin is easily one of the cleanest skins from the Wild Battle Pass, and from Chapter 4 as a whole. And I really wish she received more than one edit style, or the super styles from the Wild season. And moving in at number 4, we have Halsey from Season 1. Now this skin is a toss-up for a lot of players, but for me it hits the mark. I love her base purple color scheme, and she has some solid edit styles as well, with my personal favorite being the Bo Barista style. Although I didn't have a vampire hunting barista on my list for Fortnite skins I wanted to see, Halsey was certainly a welcome surprise and a very solid skin, landing her at number 4. And settling into our top 3, at the number 3 spot we have Doom. Now this is easily one of my favorite skins from the Gaming Legend series, and I think he made for a great collab in Season 1. Of course we have his classic green look, but he's also equipped with 3 phenomenal edit styles, with my personal favorite being the Ember style. And our runner-up for today's list at number 2 is the Ageless. The Ageless was our tier 100 skin in Season 1, and he was certainly a great choice to kick off the chapter. Now this skin is a snapshot of Geno, who has been teased for some time in Fortnite lore, so that might explain why Fortnite went all out on the skin. I love his blue and white color scheme. The skin gets even sicker when you equipped his full armor. And our number 1 spot as the best Battle Pass skin for Chapter 4 undoubtedly goes to Mizuki. Now Mizuki had a lot to live up to as a tier 100 skin, and I think Fortnite met those expectations and knocked the skin out of the park. She's certainly one of my favorite tier 100 skins inside of Fortnite, and one of my favorite skins in general. Not to mention, she has a ton of customization with her edit styles, but by far my favorite look for her is the Ember style. But as I said before, my list isn't the right list, so be sure to let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, as well as your personal ranking of all the Battle Pass skins in Chapter 4. But until next time guys, as always, take care and stay twisty.